This is a wonderful interview by JANE PAULEY of musician Stanley Jordan from 37 years ago today. And she talks about what couldn't really happen the way it does today, the importance of his street musician exposure. And Jordan also gives a pretty explicit demonstration and explanation of his style. And this is wonderful. I can't believe 37 years ago. Oh. Yeah, I can.
Stanley Jordan gets so many notes out of a 6-string guitar that people listening swear there have to be at least 2 guitars. Well, we're going to give you a chance to listen and to watch this astonishing young guitarist. It's one of the hottest things right now in the world of jazz. Stanley Jordan, welcome to today. Now, I'd heard about this young man. I'd heard, it almost sounded like a legend, the legend of Stanley Jordan. And it was this: street musician, discovered on the streets, appears on The Tonight Show, makes an album that becomes a #1 bestseller, and then goes on to claim the music world. Those facts are sort of true, if a little out of order, but what wasn't included in the legend, I discovered later, were things like Princeton, '81, and basically you've been a serious musician since childhood. Yeah. Why the street musician aspect, though?
Well, that was something that I did at a particular time in my career. I was starting to get my career off the ground in New York. Everyone had told me that's the place to go, that's the best music town. And I found that it was difficult to get the exposure I wanted in the clubs. Even getting an audition was tough, because I'd have to wait in line, people would be crossing my name off the list and all that. So finally I said, wait a minute, there's got to be a better way. And I met some street musicians, and they said, you know, if you come with us, we'll show you how you can get more exposure and actually make more money playing in the street.
A virtuoso playing on the street corner is going to get a lot of attention. How much money did you make on the street corner?
Well, at first it wasn't a whole lot, but after a while I had finished my first album, which I did on my own label in '82. And once I had my album out there, I could sell that. And then,
on the street?
Yeah, and so that helped a lot.
Yeah, you should have had regularly scheduled performances. Now, what has made you famous among your virtuosity, but also your technique, which is totally original? Could you describe it before you show me?
Sure. Okay. Normally, one would play a guitar by, say, strumming.
Yes.
Or by finger picking.
And you don't do that.
What I do, well, I do, I just did. But most of the time, what I do is I play it sort of like a piano. I can use one hand, for example, or I can use the other hand. Or I can use the 2 hands independently.
Thinking of it as brilliant, executing it must be really difficult. Do people just watch your fingers when you play, or do they listen?
Well, a lot of times I'm watching my fingers, so I don't really notice where they're looking. You know, sometimes I find that it messes me up to look at my fingers, because I can only look at one hand, and so while I'm looking at this hand, the other hand will be off making a mistake. So then I'm over here, and then this one is blowing it.
Why don't we just listen to Stanley Jordan?